There are moments in life when you realize the battle isn't out in the world of realities anymore. It's not something you can touch or outthink or outmaneuver. It's here, quiet, invisible, heavy. A presence you can feel pressing against your ribs when the night goes too still. We sometimes call them giants, but they don't live on mountaintops or in myths. They live in us. Some people call them ghosts, others call them echoes. I've come to think of them as fractures, small bends in who we are that never fully heal, in the places memory refuses to let go of, in the seconds time keeps dragging behind us, like broken glass in a velvet bag. This is ZN Cruz, and this week's episode is called The Giants Among Us. Giants don't shout, they wait. They wait until you're tired enough to stop pretending you've moved on. They wait until the noise dies down, until you're alone with yourself, and then they breathe. You can feel it in the room, in the hum of the fridge, in the light that flickers for no reason. It's not fear exactly, it's recognition. You remember that version of yourself, the one you buried under years and small talk and work and trying. And for a moment, it feels like they've come back to collect something you still owe them. Memory is the first giant most of us ever face. It doesn't attack, it invites. It says, remember when things were easier? And for a second, you fall for it. But memory doesn't give back what it shows you. It only opened the wound so you can see how deep it really goes. Then there's time. Time doesn't even bother pretending to care. It just keeps moving, quietly, relentlessly. It stretches the distance between who you were and who you thought you'd become. It erases excuses, it blurs the edges of the faces you swore you'd never forget. Time is the kind of giant that doesn't need to raise its hand, because it's already won. But here's the truth I've learned. The giants aren't meant to be defeated. You don't slay time, you don't silence memory. You stand before them, shaking, imperfect, human, and you endure. You learn their language. You stop begging for mercy, and you start listening. Because sometimes survival isn't about victory. It's about standing still long enough to hear the heartbeat beneath the fear. It's about understanding that the giants are only as tall as the distance between who you were and who you're still trying to become. And when you finally look up, when you meet their gaze without flinching, you realize they were never your enemies at all. They were reminders that you lived, that you're still here, that even after everything, you're still strong enough to keep going. Memory is definitely a trickster. It doesn't strike all at once, it seeps in. A name here, a smell, a song that plays from another room, and suddenly you're somewhere you swore you'd never go back to. That's how memory works. It never knocks. It just finds the cracks within us, wearing the clothes of the past, and for a moment, you forget that you've changed. You forget the distance between who you were and who you had to become. But the danger of memory is subtle. It doesn't want to destroy you, it wants to keep you. It wants you to believe that the past is safer, softer, easier. It wants you to stay inside it, where everything made sense, before the world cracked open and showed you what survival costs. Memory edits, it censors, it polishes the pain until it looks poetic, until you start to wonder if maybe it wasn't so bad. But that's the trap, isn't it? The pain wasn't beautiful when it happened, it was just pain. And yet, we go back to it, over and over, because even hurt can feel like home when it's all we have left of who we were. Memory doesn't fade, it fractures. Every time we revisit it, we rebuild it slightly differently. Every time we remember, we alter the timeline just a little. Maybe not out there in the world, but inside ourselves. The details shift, the colors change, and each version feels a little more real than the last. That's how we end up living in the echoes, half in the present, half in the reconstruction of what used to be. It's strange, isn't it? How something that once gave us joy can later become a weapon. How one perfect day can grow sharp enough to cut you years later. That's what makes memory the cruelest of all the giants. It knows your voice. It knows what to say to make you stop moving. It whispers that maybe it's not worth it, that maybe the best parts of you already happened. And if you listen too long, it wins. But there's another way to see it. Maybe memory isn't the enemy at all. Maybe it's just the mirror we keep avoiding, the one that shows not what we've lost, but what we've survived. To remember is to keep breathing through the ache, to look at what hurt you and say, I made it through that. And maybe that's what redemption really is, not erasing the past, but learning to live beside it and conquer the memory of what once was. Because the moment you stop running from those memories, they stop chasing you. If memory is the trickster, then time is a tyrant. It doesn't need to lie. It doesn't even need to speak. It just moves, quietly, relentlessly, counting you unceremoniously along with everything else that's ever existed. Time doesn't pause for grief or slow down for love. It doesn't care how long you stare at a photograph or how many times you whisper, just one more day. It moves at the same indifferent rhythm. Seconds, minutes, hours, centuries, millennia. That's what makes time the greater enemy. You can't fight it. You can't reason with it. You can only feel it. In the distance between now and then, in the people who stopped calling, in the reflection that doesn't quite match the way you remember your face. Time steals slowly. You don't even notice it at first. One day the roads look smaller. The sky doesn't glow the way it used to. The voices of people you loved sound faint in your mind, and you realize it's not that you've forgotten them. It's that time has thinned the thread connecting you to the life you once lived. That's what time does best. It unravels us, strand by strand, until we have no choice but to rebuild ourselves from what's left. We like to think of time as linear, but it's not. It folds, it bends, it repeats. The past echoes through us, shaping how we love, how we fear, how we dream. And the future looms, shimmering, uncertain, like a mirage we keep chasing even when we know we'll never reach it. The cruelest part is how time makes us believe there's a right way to use it, that we can somehow waste it or earn it or manage it. I used to think time was linear too, that it marched forward like a soldier. But I've seen how it loops, how it folds, how sometimes tomorrow still bleeds into yesterday. But maybe time isn't meant to be controlled. Maybe it's just meant to be witnessed, to be felt, to be survived. Because here's the quiet truth. You don't conquer time, you coexist with it. You learn to live within its current, even when it carries away everything you thought you'd keep forever. And when the giants of memory and time stand over you, reminding you how fragile it all is, you take a breath. You remind yourself that you're still here. The clock keeps turning, but so do you. And maybe that's why survival matters so much. Because when everything else keeps moving, time, memory, the world, survival becomes its own quiet defiance. And it isn't a grand victory. It's not the anthem at the end of the movie, or the slow-motion walk away from the fire, or even a totem spinning endlessly on a tabletop. Most days, survival is quieter than that. It's getting out of bed when the weight in your chest says stay. It's brushing your teeth while the ghosts of yesterday sit on the edge of the sink. It's making coffee for a future you're not even sure you believe in yet. We talk about moving on, like it's a direction. But most of the time, it's just forward motion, inch by inch, heartbeat by heartbeat, through the fog of what we've lost. You don't conquer the giants of memory and time. You coexist with them. You build your house right in their shadow, and somehow, you still find sunlight. That's what surviving really is. It's not strength in the way people imagine it. It's resilience in disguise. It's showing up again after you've been broken, and choosing to love, to create, to try, knowing full well that time will take it all again one day. That's the quiet rebellion of being human. Every morning we rise into the same war, against doubt, against time, against ourselves. But somewhere between the seconds we find meaning. In the laugh we didn't expect. In the memory that hurts a little less. In the way the sky turns that soft shade of blue that always feels like forgiveness. Maybe that's what we're really doing here. Not defeating the giants, but learning to live through them. To let them teach us how fragile everything is, and how sacred that fragility makes it. Because when you've faced your own monsters, when you've stared into the mouth of time and said, not yet, you start to realize something. Survival isn't the absence of pain. It's the art of moving through it. And if you're still here, listening, breathing, rebuilding, then you've already won today's battle. You've faced the giants, and you're still standing. So take the next breath. Take the next minute. Take the next sunrise. Because even when the world feels unmovable, you are still in motion. Because in the end, the race is long, but it's only truly ever with ourselves. Please check out your favourite bookstores worldwide for my book, The Zepherous Chronicles Rebirth. The second book, Cantera, is coming soon. This is Z and Cruz, reminding you to stay close to the echo. Bye for now.